So I want to talk about hair shedding and hair knots first off. Does my hair shed? Does my hair shed a lot? I don't think so. I mean, I kind of have determined how much is usual and how much is unusual for me, you know, in terms of my hair shedding. This is how much hair I just lost in the shower co-washing. Now, I co-washed this morning. I normally don't co-wash twice in a day, but I wanted to do this video. So I lose about 2 to maybe 3 times as much as this in a normal session in the shower, pulling out my hair. I don't think that's a lot of hair to lose. I've never really been one who questioned how much hair I shed, or it's never really been something that was on my mind. I just think my hair is going to shed and it's going to shed, and that's it. As far as single strand knots, yes, I have single strand knots. I can pull out just virtually every section of my hair and I will have a single strand knot in it. Is that because I have been co-washing? No. I have always had single strand knots, just as I think, you know, most women who have this texture of hair, or hair that's very, you know, coily, you're going to have single strand knots. There's no way around it. I really worried about single strand knots for a while. I asked a lot of YouTubers a lot of questions, a lot of people a lot of questions, and, you know, I looked everywhere that I could on the internet, and the answer to me was, they're going to be there. Trim your hair every 3 months if you're so worried about single strand knots. There's really nothing that you can do. I hear people say that you can do protective styling. That'll help cut down on single strand knots. I don't find that that's true. That's not true for me. Protective styling does not cut down on knots for me. So I think that I'm maybe one of those people who just has to realize I'm going to have single strand knots in my hair, and that's it. So ever since that, and I've kind of accepted that, single strand knots have not bothered me one bit. About getting tangles in my hair when I co-wash. If you watched me co-wash my hair in the shower, you saw that I had knots in my hair. And I take the time to get those knots out of my hair, and if they don't come out all the way, then I'll get a pair of scissors and I'll cut that knot out. Me having knots in my hair, that's just how it's always been. When I was doing protective styling with twists, I had knots in my hair. I think they're probably about the same frequency. That's just kind of what comes along with this kind of hair. Obviously, there are things that you can do to make your hair tangle, and you don't want to do those things. That's one of the reasons why when I co-wash my hair, I separate it in the middle. I separate it kind of down the middle. It's not an exact part, you know, to the scalp. And I kind of let it dry like this also, especially this. It's mainly this area. I let it dry like that also. That's one of the things that I've done to help cut down on knots. But otherwise, you know, you're gonna get knots in your hair. You take the time to detangle it. The more, you know, if you decided to give wash and goes a try, the more that you do them, you know, your hair is going to feel different. First of all, that's the first thing that I experienced is, you know, after a little bit, your hair feels different. Your hair, I don't know, I don't know if it gets used to having that much moisture in it. I don't know, but that's what I noticed. And secondly, you're just going to get used to pulling the hair out of your hair, you know, finger pulling, whatever, and taking your time to detangle knots. So one thing my hair does that I've noticed when I did my mini twist, I noticed that some of my hair would lock up. It just naturally wanted to lock up on me. So I purposely left a few of these to show outside of the shower. My hair naturally wants to kind of lock itself. Now if I put my fingers in here and untangle it, it'll come undone. But I can tell, you know, if I went out without finger detangling in the shower for weeks, or if I went without, you know, brush detangling or something, I would have natural locks probably all over my head. And that's crazy. I never would have known that my hair does that unless I would have done these, you know, this washing a challenge. So that's something interesting that I just wanted to tell you guys about. From here, from just out of the shower hair, I will either go like this, kind of will not go like this exactly, but I always like to have a part on this side of my hair, so I'll kind of, move hair to the side of my hair, use some bobby pins, scrunch it down in some areas, puff it out in some other areas, and go and wear an afro. I actually wore an afro yesterday. Today I had it up in one of the styles that I showed in my last video. But I do not try to utilize the puff every day. The puff gets boring to me, So that's what I do. I either style it, but the thing is that you can get very intimidated by having your hair out like this. Yeah, when I first started, it was really scary to me, thinking, okay, all of this is going to dry up, and it's going to dry, and it's going to shrink. I think one of the things that's really helped me is telling myself, keep your fingers out of your hair. That creates tangles, especially when your hair is wet. You can manipulate it a little bit more and not have to worry about getting tangles. But when your hair dries, don't be one of those people who are pulling your hair, being like, oh man, this is so nappy. Those are the things that I have done that I'm like, okay, duh, Naomi, you can't go pull through your hair and think that, it's gonna glide through when it's dry. That's ridiculous. So usually when I go to bed, my hair is dry or drier. Sometimes I wash it in the morning and it's still a little damp by the time I go to bed. No, that never worries me. I don't think my hair can have enough moisture. But I think that was my problem with why I got so many knots in my hair shaft. So when I go to bed, I don't have my satin bonnet here with me. I just throw my satin bonnet over my head, Sometimes I will, if my hair is really soaking wet, sometimes I'll just put it up in a puff or in a ponytail with my knee-high stocking and go to sleep like that, just because sometimes it's annoying sleeping on wet hair and it's all mushy when you just sleep with it out. So, but most of the time my hair is dry when I go to bed, so I don't have to worry about it. I just throw on my bonnet, get up in the morning, get in the shower, and do that same thing. I'm not a hair professional, obviously, but I think that when you give yourself a chance to get to know your hair in a way that you've never known it before, it really kind of opens you up to the possibilities of things that you can do with your hair.